we're about to spill some tea.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my first story time, and this is going to be a story time about my nightmare flatmates in my first year of uni. Now I say nightmare, I am being a bit over dramatic. Everyone was really nice and it wasn't too bad, but there were times where it felt like I was living in a nightmare because we had two polar opposite flatmates, and I'll get into that shortly. So let's start with the first flatmate, and we all moved in on the same day, and there was meant to be 8 of us in the block, in the flat, but day 1 went by and there was only 7 of us. So we were waiting and waiting and waiting for this last flatmate to move in, and we were like, oh, I wonder what they're going to be like. Are they going to be loud like us? Are they going to be more shy and reserved? Like, I really wonder what this person's going to be like. So we were going about our day, and I think this is maybe the 3rd day of uni started, and we were thinking, this person is never going to move in. Like, I guess there's just 7 of us in this flat and there's not going to be an 8th person. Until one day we were coming out of our rooms and going to the kitchen, and we seen this person that we don't recognise. I'm like, who's in our house? Like, who's in our flat? And you'd kind of get a little bit used to people being in your flat that you wouldn't recognise, because we would have cleaners come in randomly. So you'd peer through a little panel which you can see into the kitchen. You're like, oh, the cleaner's in there, I'm going to wait a minute. But we peered through and like, who is that person? Lo and behold, this is our 8th flatmate. We will call him Derek. His name's not Derek, but he looks like a Derek. So Derek moved in, and he was so shy, really reserved, and he just kept himself to himself. And there would be days that have gone by and you wouldn't know whether he was in the flat or he'd left the flat. He would just keep himself locked away in his room, and we'd be like, is Derek in? I haven't heard Derek come out. Like, my bedroom was right at the end of the flat, so I would hear someone come out their room and then go out and leave, and I never heard Derek leave. So he would you would never know whether he was in, whether he was out, and you would just never see him. He was like the mystery man, and you would just, like the invisible man, you wouldn't know whether he was in, whether he was out, until like you would randomly walk into the kitchen and there's Derek. So we didn't think much of it. We just thought, that's him, he keeps himself to himself, fair enough. Until maybe a week or 2 had gone by, and you'd be thinking, I'm sure I'm missing a knife, or I'm missing some cutlery, because you'd have maybe 4 of everything. And if you're a lazy uni student like the most of us, you'd use like all those 4 utensils in a couple of days if you can't bother to wash it up. And you think, no, I'm definitely missing a spoon, I'm missing a knife. And then a couple of days later, Derek would appear, and he'd bring like a whole load of plates, bowls, stuff that he'd kept in his room, like a hamster, and come out and bring it into the kitchen to wash it up, or just leave it on the side for days. And you're like, Derek stole my knife. Derek has been stealing my stuff, and he's not been asking. Like, I don't mind if someone wants to use my stuff, just ask. But he wouldn't ask. He would just take it and then like hurry back to his room. So I had like honestly months and months of missing stuff, and so did everybody else. And you're like, where is my bowl? Where are my plates? Where is my cutlery? Where is my colander? Where is my cheese grater? Oh, Derek stole it. You didn't ask, you just stole it. So this went on for like the whole of first year. Is Derek in? Is Derek out? Where is my bowl? Where is Derek? You get the idea. Until we move out of halls and we're getting ready to go into 2nd year, and you're packing all your stuff away, and you're like, I'm missing stuff. I'm definitely missing things, like chopping boards, plates, bowls, loads of things were missing, not just from my stuff as well, from other people's. So quiet little Derek, bit of a thief, isn't he? And not only did he take like all of our utensils, food went missing as well. And this sounds so petty, and in the grand scheme of things, especially with what's going on in the world right now, who cares if Derek wanted to borrow the colander? He was probably too shy. But when you're living in those halls, you are very protective of your stuff. Tea break. Like I was saying, in those halls you get very protective over your own stuff, over your things. it honestly gets to the point where you want to label things with your name, and I've done that in the past because it wasn't just Derek that used to eat my food, it would also be the next person we're going to move on to. He would eat food too. So yeah, you would have to label things with your name on them because things would go missing. And if you're a uni student, you're broke, like you literally go to Aldi, you spend 20 quid or 30 quid on your week shop, and you don't want food to go missing. Obviously you've bought that. So yeah, food would go missing, and not only did things go missing, he would eat your food. I think because he was trying to go in and out of the kitchen as quickly as possible, his cleaning levels were so not up to scratch. He would leave, like I remember really clearly, I'm sure he was making like a bacon sandwich. I think the bacon actually, we'll give Derek this one, I think the bacon was his. The bread, no. The utensils, no. But he was like cutting the fat off some of the bacon, and he'd left like this much of fat just on the side, on the surface, not on a chopping board, nothing, just raw bacon fat on the side. Being the stubborn uni students that we were, so I'm not cleaning up other people's mess. If you leave that there, you clean up. I'm not cleaning up your mess. So this piece of bacon fat, so gross. It honestly stayed on the side for months and months and months and months and months because no one could be bothered to clear it up. And to be honest, like, why should you? Like, we're all 18, we're all independent, living on our own. You clean up after yourself. Like, I'm not going to go around and clean up other people's shit. Don't get me wrong, in the beginning I did because, and my friends as well, because it would bother you. Like, there'd be so much crap all over the side and the crumbs on the floor, and even though we do have cleaners, like, they will only do so much. So this piece of bacon fat staying on the side for months. It was pretty grim. So that was Derek. Love Derek, and sure, I mean, I hope Derek's doing well now, but yeah, he was just kind of like a hamster where he would hibernate in his room and store all of his, not his, our stuff, and then bring it back when he'd find his chance to like rush into the kitchen, rush back out, leave his bacon fat on the side. So that was Derek. Now we have the polar opposite to Derek, and we will call him Sam. Again, his name's not Sam. So Sam was like maybe the first boy to move into the halls, and he was like, you get such loud characters and loud people at uni because everyone's like, woo, live my own, look at me, woohoo, lads. So Sam was really loud, and he brought like a huge speaker with him. You would have music blaring all of the time, and he would hardly sleep as well, so you would have music playing from like 11 o'clock at night until about 3 in the morning because he can't sleep. The music was playing, and his room was the first one as you come into the flat, which was an issue as we'll get into in a bit. So yes, not only did you have Derek leaving bacon fat on the side and scurrying in and out stealing stuff, you then also had Sam, who would be really loud, does what he wants, proper, like, imagine like the ultimate lad who thinks he's a lad, gym freak. That's Sam. So he would have his music blaring, and also he smoked weed, literally smoked weed every day, and like twice a day. Like, I'm sure he would do it in the morning or in the afternoon and then random times in the evening, but I'm sure most uni accommodations, weed is just like the natural aroma. But I wasn't used to like living in a house that stinks of weed all the time. As soon as you walk into the flat, smells of weed. Leave the flat, smells of weed, because he is the first room as you come into and leave the flat. So, loud music, stinks of weed, and guess what? Different levels of cleanliness. Again, no, he did not leave the bacon fat on the side, but you know what he would do? Wouldn't put rubbish in the bin. No. Why would you put rubbish in the bin when you could throw it out the window? So he would make like shakes, and it would be like, you know, like raw eggs. He'd drink like raw eggs. So he would drink those, but he'd crack open the eggshells and the bin's overflowing because no one could be bothered to take it out. So he would throw the eggshells out the window, but the window's kind of open like that, not where you open them at the top, probably to stop people, you know, jumping out. So the window would open about this much, and it would be like a game where he'd throw the eggshell. Does it make it out the window? Does it not? Oh, who gives a shit if there's a bit of egg smeared on the window? Not only did he throw eggs out the window, he also spat out the window. God knows why he would want to spit out of the kitchen window and not in his bedroom window. So yeah, there would be egg smeared on the kitchen window, spit smeared on the kitchen window, and maybe bits of meat that also couldn't be bothered to throw in the bin, throw it outside. Nice one. Love that for Sam. Until one day we got a group email, all of us in the block, about rubbish being thrown out the window. Another tea break. So one day we got an email addressed to the whole block about rubbish being thrown out the window, and they wanted to know who done it because you have like, what are they called, like not caretakers, but like people that would make sure that halls are kept clean and, you know, there's no like rubbish being thrown out the window, that kind of thing. So we got a group emails saying, we know that people have been throwing rubbish out the window. Also, underneath the windows, people have their cars. People brought their cars to uni. So there would be eggshells and pizza boxes and spit on people's cars as well, because they were underneath our window. Like I've already said, our flat was at the top of the block. So we had this group email about who's throwing rubbish out the window, and as soon as I get it, I turn to my other flatmates, like the girls. I wonder who this is about. Clearly Sam. Yeah, so we weren't going to say anything when we got this email. Obviously we know exactly who it's about, but we thought, I know what goes on in prison. Snitches get stitches, and I don't want to get stitches. Best believe this face does not need to be made any more ugly than it already is. So yes, that is my story time on my nightmare flatmates. Obviously it wasn't actually that bad. I'm only saying this because if they're watching we're a little bit scared, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. But you had, like I said before, when you move into your accommodation, you don't get to choose who you move in with. So you have people that you're going to be living with that you would never mingle with or never be friends with, definitely never choose to live with. I mean, even as I'll get into my other like year 2, year 3 experiences of uni, I loved living with my friends, but even towards the end you do not want to live with your friends anymore, just because people have different standards of living and you just get under each other's skin. You're living and breathing and working on top of each other. So yeah, that's Derek, the really shy, reserved one who would steal stuff, and then you've got Sam, the complete opposite, who would just do what he wants, throw stuff out the window, have an email reported about him, but you don't say anything. So this is my story time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.